let's do a super quick book haul. So I never really do book haul videos, but I just got my Aardvark box in the mail and I'm really jazzed about the books that I got this month, so I wanted to talk about them. This is not like sponsored or anything like that. I just genuinely, I switched from another book subscription to Aardvark in the last like couple of months, and I have been loving the books that I've been getting out of here, so I really just wanted to talk about it. So first up on my list is Burn Down Master's House by Clay Kane. I have seen quite a few people on my FYP talk about this book. One of my mutuals like just posted a video about it the other day, and I'm really anxious to get into it. So if you haven't seen anything about this book yet, this is a collection of short stories that are based on real slave rebellions. And in a time when the current administration in the United States thinks it's okay to literally erase Black history and slavery, I thought that this was kind of the perfect Black History Month pick. I think the reason why this book is so important is probably best said by the author himself, so I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs from the introduction. Misinformation is an old, strong tool. It distorts histories, manipulates narratives, and fuels power. Misinformation makes it possible to win elections, spark wars, and turn neighbors into enemies with the stroke of a pen or a simple click. The danger of being misled is more than ignorance. It's political and social vulnerability. A society untethered from truth can be easily controlled. Its people divided by lies while the oligarchies consolidate their power. As Alexander Nix, former CEO of Cambridge Analytica, said in 2018, it doesn't necessarily need to be true as long as they're believed. Misinformation campaigns aren't just careful mistakes. They're surgical strikes against our ability to see how these systems' legacies infect our world. Truth and facts are ultimately what make collective opposition possible. If people are swayed to believe resistance is hopeless, they'll surrender before the battle even begins. But once they learn of others who have resisted and won, the idea of rebellion transforms from a fantasy into a possibility. Just as contemporary purveyors of misinformation work tirelessly to keep others in ignorance, enslavers once strove to prevent the enslaved from learning of successful revolts that might embolden them. There is a power in retelling stories of liberation. When a society reclaims its past, when it knows the rebellion has happened and can happen again, it steps closer to building a future in which oppressive systems can be undone. Remembering is an act of brilliant opposition. Book 2, we're going a completely different direction with The List of Suspicious Things. So this is a historical fiction thriller, and do you remember a couple weeks ago when I told y'all that I thought that I was gaslighting myself into thinking that I didn't like historical fiction? I think that this choice just continues to prove my point, that I do actually like historical fiction. I've just spent years convincing myself that I don't. Anyways, this book is about 12-year-old Niv, whose family is about to move away from her childhood home because of a string of murders of young women. And obviously, the first thing a 12-year-old girl would do is consult her best friend about that. And they decide to start making a list of suspicious things, every single thing suspicious that they see, and figure out if they can actually solve this murder on their own and prevent Niv from having to move away. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard it's very heartwarming, very Nancy Drew for a new generation. Obviously, this is adult, this is not child fiction, just to be clear. But I think it's going to be a good time, and I'm really excited to jump into it. All right, number 3, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely picked this one up because of the cover and the title. That's not normally how I go about buying books, but this was in the horror section of Aardvark, so I knew I wanted to round this out with like another horror book, and I saw this one and couldn't skip past it. And that is Trad Wife. I mean, look at the cover of this book. So I saw this cover, immediately was like, add to cart, and then I decided I should actually read the description before I just blindly went into it. But this is about a trad wife influencer who allows herself to get pregnant by a demon to kind of save her marriage and influencing career. And that just sounds like everything I want out of a book. I've read 0 reviews. I don't know anything about it, but the cover looks great and the description sounded really good. So if you've read this one specifically, let me know in a comment. Because I want to know what I'm in for. So there you have it. There is my Aardvark box for the month. I would love to know in a comment if you have read any of these. If you haven't, if you're going to read any of them. And then if you want to hear any of my thoughts about any of these books once I finish them, make sure you hit that follow button for more.